everyone, what's up to you all awesome and wonderful mindsetters? It is a lovely Thursday and it is time for us to learn more and learn extra on mathematical literacy. My name is Abram and today I'm doing the show with Peter. Peter, how's it, man?
It's absolutely wonderful. Hey, great to be here again. It's Thursday night. We know what that means, don't
It's
we?
quarter to Friday.
It's quarter to Friday.
Yeah.
We absolutely love Fridays, okay? But more importantly, it's time for some mathematical literacy, and I'm really excited about our show tonight.
Of course, I must say you look like a teacher today who's an examiner.
Hey, what can I say?
Well, let me tell the mindsetters what to expect on the show.
Okay.
I know that you ready for this show. Well, guys, all you need to do is to get your notes right now. I've posted them on facebook.com/LearnExtra. It is XTRA. That is our extra. Even on Twitter, follow us at LearnExtra. Now, by following us, guys, you don't just get to be cool only, but you also get to get some cool prizes as well. We're giving away one of 4 Chevy Sparks. All you need to do is to buy this awesome official K53 Learners and Drivers manual from any from major leading retailers in South Africa, or you can download the cool Android K53 app, which is available for Samsung smartphone users, available through the Galaxy App Store. Or from Monday, you can get it from Google Play. And then after, go to our Facebook page, the one I told you about, fill in the entry form, and then lastly, like our page and like the official Safeways K53 Learners and Drivers Manual Facebook page. The links are all on our Facebook page. Peter, over to you.
Sure, I don't know how you remembered all that, hey? What's the prize?
The prize is a car, man. It's a Chevy Spark L, man.
Guys, our prizes are just getting better and better and better, aren't they? I remember the days when our first prize was a lollipop, and then the next few weeks it was 2 lollipops. Now we're giving away cars. That is just absolutely phenomenal.
4 of them.
phenomenal
Imagine.
stuff.
So if you don't win now, you stand a chance still.
Oh,
4.
And what's our next prize? Like
Get
a
James to
cruise
enter. Get James to enter.
on the Mediterranean or something.
The what?
Our next prize, probably a cruise on the Mediterranean.
We have other prizes as well, bigger.
Okay, folks, let's get on with some maths lit. Time's going, and I'm kind of excited about the show, and I'll tell you why. What I decided to do, we got 2 weeks left. Now, you matrics are sitting at home at the moment. You've all finished school, and you're busy doing some revision, okay? And a lot of you, while you're doing revision, and guys, incidentally, at this stage, the only revision you should be doing is going through past papers. So you should be opening up a past paper, doing it, okay? And then trying to figure out where you went wrong. Now, lots of guys, stacks of, and when I say guys, I also mean girls, of course, all right? But stacks of folk out there write their matric exam, and they know exactly what they're doing, but they make careless, silly mistakes. And that happens because of the pressure that'll be on you while you're writing that exam. So what I thought we would do this week, as well as next week, is we are going to go through some basic, very basic little questions, okay, where people tend to make silly mistakes. And how are we going to do this? Well, I'm really excited about it. Let's watch this board here. What we're going to do is this. You are going to be given a series of questions. So we're going to break them up. I'm going to start off by just looking at 5 little questions. Each question is in the form of a multiple choice question. Okay? So it'll be question 1, and you'll have an A, B, C, D answer. A question 2 with an A, B, C, D answer, and such like. Now, what you are going to do is you are going to click on this link. All right? www.q.na/u1ynt. Doesn't matter if they put www or must they put http.
Where did you see the www?
No, normally that stands for www.
Okay, just put that one.
Okay, just put that one. Clearly, I'm not very technically minded here. So punch an http :/q.na/u1ynt. Guys, that's going to open up a page on your browser, and you are actually going to come across the 5 questions. Each question is going to have an A, B, C, D choice. You just click on which one you think is the correct one. Once you've done that, and once you've answered all 5, You then submit your answers. And instantly, what's going to happen? You're going to be told how many you got right out of those 5. Okay? Sounds cool. But the more exciting thing for me is that Ibrahim over here is going to also get an instant record of what people are answering. Now, you don't have to put your name. You don't have to give any details. You just go on that link. You start clicking. Answers are given, or your result will be given to you instantly. At the same time, it's zoomed straight into our studio here in Joburg. How cool is that?
So cool, technology, power.
And we will be able to work out or give the results of the percentage of you viewers who chose option A, option B, option C, and option D. Okay, now I'm going to go through the questions so you can start answering straight away, and then I'm going to explain how we got all these different answers. So let's just have a look here. Question number 1. The following questions deal with basic calculations and conversions. Round 2,9899 to 3 decimal places. Okay, now like I said, I'm going to interrupt myself here quickly. All these questions, you would never get a question like that in MathsLit. But what you would get is you would get a full calculation, and at the end of that calculation, it would say, round your final answer to 3 decimal places, or 2 decimal places, or whatever the case may be. And we find that people are able to work out the answers, and then they mess up with the rounding. Okay, so like I said, I'm asking you questions, but they're just little extracts from huge questions. Okay, so the following question, round 2,9899 to 3 decimal places. Is it A, 2,989? Is it B, 2,999? Is it C, 3,980? Is it D, 2,990? Next question, question 2. Add 2 hours, 24 minutes to 56 minutes and 48 seconds. Is it A, 106 hours, 24 minutes and no seconds? Is it B, 3 hours, 20 minutes, 48 seconds? Is it C, 0 hours, 59 minutes, 12 seconds? Or is it D, 3 hours, 80 minutes and 48 seconds? Following question. 10% of 345 Rand and 98 cents. Is it 34 Rand 59? Is it 311 Rand 38? Is it 34 Rand 60? Or is it 45 Rand 98? Question 4. What is the 24-hour time for 9 p.m.? Is it 900 hours, 1700 hours, 2100 hours, or 1900 hours? And our final question in this little section is this. If 1,000 centimeters cubed is equal to 1,000 milliliters of water, what volume of water is displayed by 1,235 liters? Okay, and remember, you should be going on to the link that's on your screen now, http://q.na/u1ynt. And if you get onto that, you'll see the questions in front of you, and you can start answering them right now. While you're answering them, let me just talk a little bit to give you a bit of time to answer those. And what I'm going to say to you is this, that all the answers that are down, that have been chosen, folks, those answers, okay, are taken from mistakes that matrics make year after year after year after year. So I haven't actually just made up weird and wonderful answers. I've actually put answers down which are mistakes made by matrics over the past few years. Okay? Something important to remember is this, that you may get an answer that is displayed here, but it's not necessarily the correct answer. And at this stage, we should be getting some feedback coming in. Okay?
It's coming in.
All right. So while that's going, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you 1 or 2 common little mistakes that have been made previously. So let me show you this kind of question. I gave this to our matrix. Oops. Let's just get back to Mathslit, there we go. Matrix came across a very similar question to this. When I say Matrix, I'm talking about the boys that I teach. So we gave them this question. It was a semicircle, almost looking like a D, but it was a semicircle at the end of a straight line. And the guys were asked to calculate the circumference, or the perimeter rather, of that shape. Okay? And we gave them a diameter. And I'm going to make it quite easy. I'm going to say the diameter is 10. Now, we know that the formula for circumference is circumference equals 2 times pi times r. Okay. Now, what are some of the mistakes made by Matrix? So, some of the mistakes are this. People say, right, we're trying to organize or find the perimeter of that shape. So they go ahead and they say 2 times pi times, now some Matrix will still put times 10, okay, instead of times 5. Remember, guys, if you ever get given diameter in mathematical literacy is a swear word. We get rid of that word instantly. So if I'm reading this question and I see diameter equals 10, I'm going to say to myself, the examiner's using a swear word here. It's diameter. We don't use diameter. We are using the word radius. So let's get rid of that instantly. And instantaneously cross that out and write r is equal to 5. And remember, radius is half our diameter. So now some students go ahead and say, cool, let's work this out. And they would then go say, well, 2 times pi times 5. And they're like, yeah, we're not off, eh? We're quite clever. We knew we weren't to use 10, we were to use 5. And so they use 5 and they get their answer. But we're not dealing with a complete circle here, are we? No. We're dealing with half the circle. So some guys pick that up and they say, it's 2 times pi times r divided by 2 because we got half a circle. Okay? Now, that makes sense, doesn't it? And you would probably say, Ibrahim, that's 100% correct, right? And I would say you're 100% wrong because you would have forgotten to add this line. So finding the perimeter of the shape is this semicircle as well as this line. But can you see how many mistakes are possible in answering the question? Okay. Number 1, we use diameter instead of radius. Number 2, we calculate the perimeter of a circle instead of half the circle. Number 3, we're just calculating half the circle and we forget to add the other side. So one little question, which is kind of basic, because if I said to you calculate the perimeter of a circle, you could all do it. If I said calculate the perimeter of a semicircle, you could all do it. But in a question like this, where there's just a slight little trick, by adding the extra line, there is so much potential for silly mistakes, okay? And that's what this whole exercise today is about, trying to figure out all those careless mistakes that we could make. Now, I think we might be taking an ad break so that we can then get some results. Are results coming in at the moment?
They're coming in.
They're coming
They're
in.
floating
Fantastic, guys. And we're going to close that question very shortly, and then we're going to put on another question as well. All right.
Right, and during this break, my sisters, remember we have awesome giveaways for you guys. There's still that Get Connected competition. All you need to do, it is to look on our Facebook page. There's a pin post on top there. Like your favorite teacher from Curia, and then go on our Facebook page, like your teacher, your favorite teacher. You could win a Sony Xperia L cell phone or some airtime voucher, proudly sponsored by Vodacom. See you after this break. Welcome back, Mindsetters. Now, in trying to help you guys becoming Brightsters, we are having this competition called Be a Bright Spark. If you think you are a bright spark, all you need to do is to enter our K53 competition. It's simple, guys. You buy the official Safeways K53 Learners and Drivers Manual. or you download the cool Android K53 app, which is available for Samsung smartphone users from the Galaxy App Store, or from Monday it will be also available from the Google Play Store. And secondly, you go to our Facebook page and you enter your details on the entry form. There's a tab there called Win a Spark. You click on that tab and you enter your details. And then the last thing is you like our Facebook page and you also like the official Safeways K53 Facebook page. It is there and all the details are there. Guys, we're trying to give you some tips as well. So let us know your experience. If you've been driving, let us know how is it so far. And lastly, we've got a question for you guys on Facebook. Since you've seen that so many people are dying, thousands and thousands of people are dying on the roads due to unnecessary road fatalities. So I just want to know from you guys, what do you think are the causes of these unnecessary road fatalities? The question is posted on Facebook, so look for it right there on our Facebook page. And now, talking about educational stuff, if you missed any of our notes, whether it's last week or today's notes, you're looking for them, you can find them on our Facebook page. Jump to learn.mindset.co.za. It's simple, learn.mindset.co.za. Remember to follow us on Twitter at LearnExtra. And thank you to everybody that is on the page. I'm seeing there's Priska Lowinski on the page. A big shout out to you, Priska, and everybody that is watching, saying they're enjoying the show. If you don't see the notes, they are pinned right there on top. Peter?
All right, welcome back, folk. Now, thanks for everyone who's entered. We've had over 1,000 responses so far, which is absolutely fantastic. Okay, the scary thing is, so many of you have fallen into the trap and made mistakes that we said were going to be made. So let's have a look at question 1. Do you know that only 38% of you who answered this question got it right? Now that's scary, folk, because it's a simple rounding question. And yet, so many of us make those silly mistakes. So we look at a question like this and we go, oh, it's so easy. And yet, 62% of us got it wrong. So let's have a look. So looking at this now, we are going to say, right, and I'm just waiting for a color pen to come up. We've got a whole lot of programs on this computer at the moment, because at the moment what's actually happening, your responses are all being fed into our computers, and so it's kind of slowed us down a little bit. And so we're just waiting for a pen. Hopefully we do get a pen. If we don't get a pen, well, then I'm just going to have to talk you through it. Let's just have a look. No, still no pen. Okay. Here we go. We got a pen. Right. So, folks, let's have a look at this. I've got the number 29, and I think our whole computer system is slowing down here. Right, here we go. 2,98. Oops. Click on terminate the program. Okay. Not too sure what we're doing here. It seems like we're trying this new idea, and information is just flooding in, and it's jamming all the computers. So thanks to everyone for replying. Like I said, over 1,000 responses came in, and probably another 1,000 are busy coming in, and that's why we kind of have totally messed up here. Okay, so we've got the number 2,9899. Right. Now, folk, we're asked to round this to 3 decimal places. In other words, we are saying 1, 2, here is our cutoff point. Now, you know that if I have digits 0, how many digits are there in our number system?
9.
9, absolutely wrong. Hey, they're 10. Because there's a 0. All right. So we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the halfway mark of that is 4. Look here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's why anything from 0 to 4 lies on a small side. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 we regard as big numbers. So when I look at this, I know I've got 2,989. What's my next digit? My next digit would have been 2,990. I got 89, got 90. I need to determine, is this going to remain 89 or is it going to go up to 90? Now, folk, I look at my 4th digit. I'm rounding to 3, so I'm looking at my 4th digit. And that 3rd digit, we know is going to be affected by the 4th one. The 4th one, looking at it, is a 9. Because it's a 9, the 89 becomes 90. And so looking for my answer, here she is, 2,990. Simple concept, folk, but gee, so easy to make careless mistakes. So if you were one of the 62% that got it wrong, guys, that would have cost you in your final exams. Let's have a look at question number 2. Question number 2 says this. Now, 63% of the folk that responded got this question correct. And the question was, the following, add 2 hours, 24 minutes to 56 minutes and 48 seconds. Guys, I want to show you something on your calculator. A wonderful, wonderful button that you've got to know how to work in the end of the year exam. And I call it the time button, okay? And it's this button which is right over, and as soon as I touch it, it's going to go off, but it's this button here. Did you see it? I'll push it again. I'm pushing it a number of times. Can you see? That button, it's just above the ENG button, is what we call our time button. Now, with the time button, you've got to tell your calculator. You're dealing in hours, you're dealing in minutes, and you're dealing in seconds. Calculator is a very smart thing, but it can only work with what you put into it. So if I am dealing with the time, and let's have a look at these times we're dealing with 2 hours, 24 minutes, okay? So we're going to add 2 hours. So we're going to tell our calculator, we're dealing with 2 hours, and we push that time button. So the calculator now knows that is 2 hours. We finished with hours. The next button this guy puts into me is going to be minutes. So we said 2 hours, 24 minutes. Now, the calculator's excited. It's got 2 hours, got 24 minutes. The next thing to come be punched into him are the seconds. But there are no seconds here, hey? It says add 2 hours, 24 minutes to. So we know we got no seconds. So I'm going to say no seconds. I've got to tell the calculator that, folk. If I don't tell the calculator there are no seconds, the next button I push, it's going to think it's seconds. Right, to that we've got to add. Now, what are we adding? We are adding 56 minutes and 48 seconds. Okay, let's write it there. 56 minutes. First button I push in, calculator's going to say this is hours. So I've got to tell this calculator there are no hours. Okay, so I'm going to say no hours. 56 minutes, there she is there, and 48 seconds. Now, push equals. And there's my answer. 3 hours, 20 minutes, 48 seconds. Do I have that answer? 3 hours, 20 minutes, 48 seconds. I do indeed. The answer is B. And like I said to you, we had 63% of folk that got it right, which means there were 37% of folk out there that got that answer wrong. Okay. And guys, like I said, that will be a question based inside a big question. So it would say, this guy traveled for so long, and then he got out his car, then he traveled again for another period of time, then he did this, then he did that, and there might be a totally different question coming out. But in order to answer that question, you've got to know how to do that calculation. Okay, or the time calculation. Let's have a look at the next one. The next one worries me, folk, because only 38% of all of you folk who answered this got it right. Again, meaning 62% of you out there got it wrong. Now, if 1,000 of you answered this, it means 620 people got this wrong, and only 380 got it right. Okay. But it's easy to make careless mistakes. You all know how to calculate percentage. Of course you do. So if I've got to do 10%, I'm going to say I'm dealing 10% of, which means times. Let's just get rid of that quickly. I shouldn't do this because then all kinds of weird things happen. Okay, here we go. And waiting for our pen. Here we go. 10% or 10 over 100 times 345 Rand and 98 cents. Let's do that on our calculator, okay? So out comes the calculator, and I'm going to bring it this side so we can see exactly what we're doing. And I'm going to say I've got 10 over 100 multiplied by 345 34.98. And my answer that the calculator gives me is 34,598. So I get 34,598. Now looking at this, folk, I can see that answer does not display on my screen. In fact, when I look at all my answers, they're all 2 decimal places. Why are they 2 decimal places? Because I'm dealing with money. And when I deal with money, I've got rands and cents. And there are only a maximum of 99 cents before it becomes a rand. So I can't have 3 decimal places. So what am I going to do? Well, got around to 2 decimal places. So I've got 59. What's the next number after 59? It's 60. Okay? So am I going to have 34,59 or am I going to have 34,60? This third digit tells me what I'm going to do. It's an 8. An 8 is one of our big digits. Because it's a big digit, the 59 becomes 60. So my answer is 34 Rand and 60 cents. Now let's have a look at what are the other options. Some guys would put this down because they haven't bothered rounding correctly. Okay? Some folk got this because what they then did was they got the 10% and subtracted it from the 345. And that's not what we're asked to do. Some people said, let's just look at the 10%. So we're going to cross that out and we're going to get 45.98. Sounds crazy, but guys, these are silly mistakes that matrics make. And remember, when you're nervous, you do make silly mistakes. It's like my wife. Okay? When I asked her to marry me, she was so nervous she made a huge mistake and said yes. Poor thing. Oh, no, it was really sad.
Ouch.
But that's a mistake she's got to live with for the rest of her life because I'm not leaving.
No more turning back.
No more turning back. Okay, next one. 1.4. What is the 24-hour time for 9 p.m.? Folk, I'm excited about this. 94% of you got this right. Fantastic. An easy mistake, which so many people make, is say, well, 9 p.m. means either 900 hours or 1900 hours. We find that is the most common mistake of all. How do we work out a 24-hour clock? Remember, a 24-hour clock is 12, a 12-hour clock is 12 hours and 12 hours. A 24-hour clock is the time plus 12 hours. So if we look at 9 p.m., it's past midday, that was 12 hours, plus another 9 hours. In other words, just add 12 hours. So 9 plus 12 is 21. So C is our answer, not D and not A. Some matrics before have taken away 2 hours. So they've said, 9, our teacher told us always to add 2, so 9 and 2, that's going to give me 21 kind of thing. I don't know how they think about that, but nevertheless, some guys say, I'm going to take away 2 hours. All right, and so they make silly mistakes like that. Okay, next one, 1.5. 1.5 says the following. If 1,000 centimeters cubed is equal to 1,000 millimeters of water, what volume of water is displayed by 1,235 liters? Folk, only 25% of us got this right. That is rather concerning. Okay, best way to do it, whenever you work with ratio problems, is ask yourself, myself, what am I dealing with? And when we look at this, we can see that we're dealing with centimeters cubed and we're dealing with milliliters, right? We're told that 1,000 of these little things is equal to 1,000 of those things. In other words, 1,000 centimeters cubed is equal to 1,000 milliliters. Now, we want to know what is displaced by 1,235 liters. Right. So, problem I have here is I'm asking you about liters, but my ratios are milliliters. So let's change those liters to milliliters. How many milliliters in a liter? Do you remember? You did core, didn't you? So you're not going to know this one.
Yeah.
So, okay, it's 1,000, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely right. Okay, so it's 1,000. So if I've got 1,235, let's take out our calculator and do this so we don't make a careless mistake. 1.235 235 times 1,000, and we know what the answer is going to be, 1,235 millimeters. So 1,235 moles. Okay. Now, whenever we deal with ratios, I always say to my class, okay, I say to them, guys, deal with the most wonderful number, and that's the number 1. Okay? Why? Because when you've got one of something, you can find any of that same thing. So I don't want, I've got 1,000 millimeters, I want to get to 1,235. Let's find out what 1 is. How did I get that 1,000 to become 1? I divided it by 1,000. So I'm going to do the exact same thing this side. I'm going to say 1,000 divided by 1,000 gives me 1. Now, I don't want 1, I want 1,235 milliliters. So how did I make that 1 into 1,235? I multiplied by 1,000. I'm going to do the exact multiplied by 1,235. I'm going to do the exact same thing this side, and so I'm going to get 1,235 centimeters cubed. 1,235. There's my answer C. Guys, ratios always give problems in matric, hey? Always work. What am I dealing with? I'm dealing with this, and write them down. And always try and find one of something before you try and find 1,235 of them. Okay, I think this has been a very worthwhile exercise because I'm sure a lot of you put in your answers, were so confident because you saw the answers there. Meantime, I tricked you and I put in wrong answers that I knew some of you would get. Right, let's have a look at question number 2. Now, for question 2, what you need to do is I'm going to go through the questions, but we're going to do the exact same thing. Let's see if we can get more than 1,000 of you answering this. Okay, so go to the link http://q.na/5ky4c, and you'll come up with the next 5 questions. When you get them, please remember, answer them, decide whether the answer is A, B, C, or D. Answer all 5 questions, submit it. If you just answer 1 and submit, you're only going to get 1 out of 5 because it's going to presume you don't know what the other 4 is. So answer all 5, push submit, and then you'll get instant feedback, and we'll also get the feedback here. Let's go through these questions. Okay, so first one. How many centimeters should a wall be on a house plan if the actual distance is 12 meters? And we're using the scale of the plan 1:150. Is it 180 centimeters, 0,008 meters, 0,8 meters, or 8 centimeters? Next one. A cool drink can is 12,5 centimeters high and has a diameter of 7 centimeters. Determine the volume of the can if the volume of a cylinder is determined with the following formula. Volume equals pi times r squared times height. And we are asked to let pi equal 3,14. And they're the answers given to us. Next one, if 1,000 centimeters cubed is equal to 1 liter, determine the amount of liquid that can be contained in a bottle that can hold 137,35 centimeters cubed of liquid. Round your answer to 1 decimal place. Okay. And our 4th question is the dimensions of a rectangular plot are 12 meters by 8,5 meters. Determine the cost of buying grass for this area. If a tray of grass that covers 4 meters squared costs 69 Rand and 75 cents. And our final question for this little section, you get given a rectangular box and you're told determine the volume of the prism above. Okay, it says below, but it's above because the prism is above. Okay. And please understand that this is that distance, 2,3 centimeters. So determine the volume of the prism above. What is the actual answer? And you got A, B, C, and D. And please remember again, you're going to go to this link over here on your screen, http://q.na/5ky4c. We're going to probably now take around about a 2.5 minute break. So you've got 2.5 minutes to try and get those answers in. And then hopefully we'll get an update and be able to publish those.
Of course, guys, let's not waste any further more time. See you after the break. Welcome back, awesome matriculants. Wow, impressive, guys. The answers are just flooding in. Thank you so much, guys. But we just want you guys to concentrate. Don't just click guesswork. Don't just guess, but think before you answer. That's just the basics of answering these curious questions. And Peter is going to be telling us some results on how did you guys do. Peter.
All right, so we got more updates at the moment. Question 2, we haven't given you enough time, so information's still coming in. So what I'm probably going to do is go through one of the answers, and then I've got one of our assistants here, who's actually the boss, who will tell me how many people got the questions right, okay? Here's an interesting thing. When we look at those first 5 questions we did before the break, the average for all those 1,000 people that answered the question was 62%. Now, guys, that's not extremely high, eh? Because some of those were really straightforward, and I would have presumed we would have got in the 90s. But remember what I always say to you, it's careless mistakes. And I think this is the reason. Let's have a look at you. The average time that you all took to finish those 5 questions was 4 minutes, 42 seconds. Folk, you rushed through it. And in rushing, you made careless mistakes. Because when you get an easy question, you think, oh, this is so easy, goof, here's the answer. Instead of saying, hold on, let me double check myself. And remember what I always say to you folk out there. Always ask yourself 3 questions after answering every question. Number 1, have I actually answered the question? Number 2, have I rounded correctly? And number 3, does my answer make sense? Okay? Always ask yourself that. I'll repeat it again. Number 1, have I answered the question? Number 2, have I rounded correctly? And number 3, does my answer make sense? Now, if you answered those 5 questions in 4 minutes and 42 seconds, guys, you were rushing so quickly. That's why so many careless mistakes were made. Remember, at the end of the year, you got 150 marks and you got 3 hours to do it. So you've got 60 minutes to answer 50 marks worth of questions. So every mark should take you just more than a minute. You can see here, okay, 5 questions took way less than 5 minutes. It should have taken you at least 6 or 7 minutes. Right, let's go on to question number 2, and let's go through them, and then I'm going to ask John, who's in the studio with me, to tell me exactly what percentage of people got this question right. It's a lovely scale one, again, to do with ratios. Remember, we always ask ourselves, what am I dealing with? How many centimeters should a wall be on a house plan if the actual distance is 12 meters? So, I've got a plan, and I've got a house. Okay? The plan, for every 1 unit on the plan, I've got 150 units on the house. And I hate it when my students say, sir, what unit is that? Is it millimeters, centimeters, or meters? Don't ask that question, okay? It means 1 unit is 150 units, equivalent to 150 units in real life. So 1 millimeter on the plan is equivalent to 150 millimeters in real life. 1 centimeter on the plan is equivalent to 150 centimeters in real life. 1 meter on the plan is equivalent to 150 meters in real life. Okay? You choose the unit. How cool is that? So now it's saying we want to know 12 meters, right? How many centimeters is it? So I want 12 meters. Now, before I find 12, I've got to find 1. How did I make this 150 become 1? I divided it by 150. And I'm going to do the exact same thing this side. Remember, what I do to the one side of that that colon, I do to the other. Then, how do I get the 1 to become 12? I multiply by 12. And I'm going to do the exact same thing this side. Out comes my calculator, and I say, right, we've got 100 over 150. I'm going to multiply that now by 12. And I'm going to get an answer of 0,08. So I've got 0,08. Right. But, folk, this is all in meters. I want my answer in centimeters. Now, how many centimeters are in a meter? There are? Do you remember? How many centimeters in a meter? 100, eh?
100.
Jeez, these guys who take call know nothing. be proud of the fact that you do maths lit. Okay, so times it by 100. And when we say 0.08 times 100, and again, feel free to use your calculator. Why not? Times 100, and we get an answer of 8. 8 what? 8 centimeters. Do I have 8 centimeters? I do indeed. Okay, now that I've got 8 centimeters, I need to ask John, who's here. John, don't you want to come stand next to me? And I know John doesn't have a mic because he didn't know he was going to be on here. But from this, we can see how many got this correct. The answer's D.
So we got 47.1% getting 180 centimeters.
Okay, so 47% of folk got A, which is the wrong answer. That's kind of scary. Next one.
8.8% B.
8.8% got B. Guys, wrong answer. C, we got
20%.
20% of folk got C, wrong answer. So that means only 25.7% of folk got the right answer. Thank you, John. So 25, what did we say? 5. 7. 25.7% of folk got that answer correct. Right, let's quickly look at question number 2. Question number 2, a cool drink can is 12.5 centimeters high, has a diameter of 7. Determine the volume. And we tell you that volume is equal to pi, which is 3.14, times radius. Now let's have a look at this question. We give you diameter. What did I say about diameter? It's a swear word. Do you never listen here, Hebert?
I don't listen to
Maths
swearing.
core again. It's kind of sad. All right.
Were you swearing?
Diameter is swear word. We don't use diameter. So diameter is 7%. So we're going to say radius must be 3.5 centimeters. So times 3.5 centimeters, and we are going to square that. And then times the height. What is the height? 12.5 centimeters. Now, folk, let's have a look at our calculator. I'm going to tell you what a lot of matrics do here.
Peter, before you do that,
Oh, you're back with us.
I'm back with you. I'd like to read out what the options are. I mean, in terms of percentages.
Okay, let's do that.
Before you actually work it out, so we can.
Right.
So the first answer, which was 1923.25.
Yeah.
Is that A?
Yes.
17.9%.
Got that right.
Got that
answer. Okay.
Then 45% got B as the next answer,
Okay.
which is 137. Am I right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So guys, just listen. Something here. Your A, B, and C might not be the same as this one because it's randomized. So you can do this assessment again, and you won't necessarily get the same thing. You'll get an A, B, or C. You'll get the right answer. So make sure you got the right answer, not the letter. And then the next one, 25% got 48.8125.
Okay.
And the last one was 3434.375. That was 12.5%.
Okay.
So shall we go with the popular group?
All right. Well, let's have a look. It's kind of scary, hey, that we've got so many different variations here. Like, this is like, oh. So what kind of mistakes could you have made? You could have used diameter instead of radius. And then another huge thing matrix make as a careless mistake is they forget to square the radius. They just say pi times r times height. And if you've done that, you're going to be one of these folk that got it wrong. But our calculator's going to do that for us, so let's go. We got 3.14. We're multiplying that now by 3.5. We're squaring it. Timesing that now by 12.5. And our answer now works out to 480.8125. But here's the answer here, all right? 480.8125. That means only 25% of you out there got that correct. 45% thought it was 137, and it actually wasn't, right? So what did you do there? You probably forgot to square the r squared. 45% of you said 3,14 times r times h and not times r squared. Wow! Guys, we've got to work on those careless mistakes and get it right. Let's have a look at our next question, okay? So our next question is saying 1,000 centimeter cubed is 1 liter. Determine the amount of liquid that can be contained in a bottle that can hold 137,375 centimeters cubed. Right, John, how are we ready for these results yet? Or not quite
give
yet?
me a second.
Okay, while we give them a second, let's just have a look here. Again, it's a kind of ratio thing. What am I dealing with? I'm dealing with centimeters cubed. Oops. Let's just get rid of that, sorry. Cool, let's try again. I'm dealing with centimeters cubed as well as liters. And I'm told, right, that 1,000 of these centimeters cubed is equal to 1 liter. Right. But now I'm asked about 137,375. Right. Before I want 137,375, I want 1. How did I get the 1,000 to be 1? I divide it by 1,000. So I'm going to do the exact same thing this side. How do I get the 1 to be 137,375? I multiply by 137,375. Okay? And then we work out our answer. Should we work out our answer first, John, or do you have results for me?
I've got results for you.
Okay. You've got 137,4 milliliters.
Okay, just let me open it up. We've got here for question
2.3.
Okay, number 3. Here we go. 11.6% of people said 137,4.
Okay.
41.8% said it was 37.4 liters.
Okay, great.
18.6% said it was 0.1375375. I wonder who got that number. I mean, it must be somebody really. Yeah. And then 27.9% said it was 137,375 milliliters.
Okay, well, let's see what the answer is. We are going to do this calculation and see what we actually land up getting. All right, so with my calculator, I'm going to say, right, I've got 1 divided by 1,000, then I'm going to multiply it by 137.375. And my answer works out to being 0.137375. So 0.137375. But that's in liters. Now, do I have this answer on my screen? No, I don't. I've got milliliters. The only liters I've got is 137,4, so it cannot be that because that's liters. And we know the answer is 0.137375 liters. Let's change that to milliliters and see if we get an answer in milliliters. How many milliliters in a liter?
1,000.
Okay, John knows 1,000, but our maths core guide, guys, this is really sad. They don't do maths. Cool. Okay, so let's multiply that by 1,000. Out comes the calculator. We say times 1,000, and we get an answer then of 137,375 milliliters. 137,375 milliliters.
But it did say round off to 1 decimal place.
Yeah, we're still getting there, hey? Okay, so it does say round your answer to 1 decimal place. Now, folk, remember what we always say, what I say. Ask yourself those 3 questions. Have I answered the question? Have I rounded correctly? Does my answer
Make sense.
Okay. Round to 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place means this is where I cut off. The 7 makes that 3 or 4. So my answer is 137,4 milliliters. Folk, kind of scary. Only 11.6% of you got that right. The reason why so many got it wrong was because you just presumed that this 137,4 was liters because we were asking, we were dealing in liters. But the actual liter answer was 0.137. You had to multiply by 1,000 to get that 137, and in so doing, you convert it to milliliters. Sure, careless mistakes. Eh?
Peter, there's something that I'm worried about though.
Right.
This container can only contain 137,375. If I've rounded it up to 137,4, it can't contain 137,4.
Absolutely.
So I think that the better answer would be 137,3.
Absolutely. And that would be called rounding in context.
Context.
Okay. So in the same way, we'll get to other questions later on where we'll see certain things. Like, for example, if you need 3,4 men to paint a room, well, you can't get 4 of a man. Okay? So let's say we said, we want to paint this room, and it works out to 3,4 men are required. Now, looking at Ibrahim, and hopefully the camera goes on him, he may look like 4 of a man. Okay?
He's still a youngster, so
Because
John?
he's small.
John, you're not part of this show.
Because he's small and thin and everything. Whereas I might look like 1,8 of a man because, well, yeah,
you've got a diameter.
I've got a diameter.
A radius.
A huge circumference. Let's not get rude now, man. Okay, it's Cuddy. They don't call me Chunk Norris for nothing. Okay, so I've got this wonderful thing of, if I need 3,4 men to paint a wall, guys, I can't have 4 of a man. No matter how small Ibrahim is, he's still a man.
Exactly.
No matter how big I am, I'm still one man. Okay? So if I need 3,4 men to paint a wall, I'm going to need 4 men. Okay? Because I can't have 4 of a man. Okay. Right, next one.
Do you want some results there?
Should we get results or should I go through it quickly?
Yeah, I'll go through it. And
All right, let's go through it, then we'll get some results. All right, so here we go. And we've only got 3 minutes to do this, so we really got to move it. The dimensions of a rectangular plot are 12 meters by 8,7 meters. So I want to work out what area. Area is length times breadth. So I have got 12, oops, that's a 12, times 8,7 meters. Right, out comes my calculator, it's got to do the work. 12 times 8.7 equals, and I get an answer of 104,4. 104,4 what? Meters squared. We are buying grass, okay? And we told that 1 tray of grass covers 4 meters squared. So how many trays do I need? Well, we're going to divide that by 4, and I know I've got to move it quickly now. So, oops, what am I doing? Out comes the calculator. And we're going to divide that by 4, and we now get an answer of 26,1. Now, folks, when I round that down, it's going to be 26. But if I only get 26 trays, 1 of my area is not going to get grass. So I need 27 trays. Each tray costs 69 Rand 75. So I'm going to say, okay, cool, I need 27 trays, each one costing, what was it, 69 Rand and 75 cents. And I get a final answer then of 1,883 Rand 25. John, quickly, 25 seconds. How many of us got that right?
Oh, I can't give it to you in 25 seconds, Peter.
You can't give
Sorry.
it to me in 25
Was
seconds.
Something else?
Oh dear. Okay. Well, so many guys could have got 1,820,48 if they only used 26 trays. Huge error here. Eh? Lots of people make that mistake.
Peter, can I tell
All right.
you that on question 2 as a whole,
Yeah.
only 33% got it right.
On all 5
On
questions.
5 questions.
Sure, only 33% of you got all of that right. Guys, do you understand how easy it is to make careless mistakes? I loved this show, hey?
Yeah,
it was
it's great.
fantastic, it was engaging, we had over 1,000 answers coming in, it was absolutely brilliant.
Do it again. They can do it again.
we-
I mean, they can do the same questions again.
You can do the same questions again, and the ABC
But now we have
will
the
be a
answers.
random answer, okay?
Right.
And we're going to do the same show like this next Thursday. So don't forget, next Thursday, 6 o'clock. Great being with you again.
Thank you so much, Peter, and thank you to you guys, and thank you, John, for all the hard work you've been doing, and thank you so much. Guys, remember to enter for our competition, Be a Bright Spark. We have a question for you guys, asking you that since there are so many accidents that are happening, thousands of people dying each and every day on our roads, what do you think is the cause of that? We love you, and peace.